It is super important that you understand the function of drums when you write music. I'm going to explain 4 categories of drums. First, I'm going to go to drum kits and talk about category number 1. That is your ground rhythm. That is your kick drum right here. And if you have a MIDI keyboard, you can use the note C on your keyboard. But if you have just a typing keyboard on your Chromebook, you can use the letter S. So I'm going to turn on the metronome so we can hear it. And that's going to be too fast for my demonstration. So I'm going to move it way down. I'm just going to match that with the letter S. Now, because I'm playing the ground rhythm, I'm playing with the click, right on it. That's ground rhythm. That's what the kick should do. Now, slight variations are okay. You can do this. But it should primarily be on the beat. Now, the next category, the backbeat. The backbeat is with the snare drum. Now, the snare drum can be right in the middle here. That's the snare. And then the outside is like the edge of the snare. It sounds a little bit more tinny. Both of those will provide a nice backbeat. Now, what I mean by a backbeat is that it plays on the 2nd and the 4th beats relative to the kick. So if your kick is here, your backbeat is here. And with the metronome, that sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, other instruments will fit pretty well with that backbeat. The rim area there, the side stick, will also work. So will a clap sound, depending on the drum kit you have loaded up, or any other short, fairly mid-rangey, pitchy instrument will also do it. But it's mostly snare and clap, and they play pretty well together. Just to make a point, I'm going to switch those up. I'm going to play the ground rhythm on the snare, and I'm going to play the backbeat on the kick, and it's going to sound weird. So here's the snare. I'm going to put a backbeat on 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3. That just sounds weird. You really want to switch them around. So, ground rhythm, backbeat. Next, subdividing. Subdividing is done by any of these, by the ride cymbal, by the hi-hat, or maybe by a tambourine, or anything that has a little bit of high pitch to it and plays a little quickly. 8th note patterns relative to the backbeat and the ground rhythm. So here we have our basic beat. Four on the floor, downbeat and backbeat, and then add the hi-hat. It also works over here. As a very basic beat. Now, you don't have to do all this with finger drumming. You can record this all in layers. So in BandLab, I'm just going to record now 4 bars of that ground rhythm. There. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to record the snare drum on top of it as a backbeat. Notice how both parts are there. Next, I'm going to record this hi-hat part. So I've got my hi-hat part up there. Notice that I hit the open hi-hat for this one little section here at measure 2. The third category is color. Color are instruments like the toms that are used sparingly, or the crash cymbal that's used sparingly. So the crash cymbals play with measure the number 6. The toms are played with TYU. So I'm going to record layers there. Here we go. Sparingly, right? I'm not playing anything. I'm just letting it hold out. So at the end of measure 4, I'm going to play TYU. That's it. So now I've got a basic rock beat. Now notice I'm not playing perfect. I am not a perfect finger drummer. I have a wireless typing keyboard. I'm not playing on a drum set. So there's a pretty wide margin for error here for me to be not locked in. So I'm going to go to the MIDI editor and look at all my notes here. You're going to see that I can quantize this. I'm going to hit select all. That's clicking here and Control A, select all, and then quantize. What quantize does is it locks all of these notes into the grid. For example, look at beat 4, measure 4, beat 2. This is not in time. I was really early. If I hit quantize, all of these notes are going to snap right to the grid. Here we go. Perfect. And that one, in fact, was so off that it rounded to the closer to the 4th beat. So I'm just going to move that. And in order to do that, I have to select that one note, not all of them. Select that one and drag it right back. Now it locks to the beat. So now let's listen to it, and I'm going to bet that it's much tighter, much cleaner. Everything's lined right up. Here's my open hi-hat. Now, that open hi-hat and closed hi-hat happen at the same time, so one cancels the other out. So I'm going to delete that one. I'm going to click it and hit delete. So now I'm going to back it up to here, and you're going to hear that played. Here come those toms. And it will repeat if I ask it to. So let me zoom up here and hit the repeat button. I get this arrow. See the little arrow? I'll drag it out to bar 9. There. So now I'll go back to the beginning. Double click that, or click this red thing. This red thing is going to make you just repeat these 4 bars. I want to do the whole thing. So that is a basic rock beat. Good luck putting that together. And make sure you remember the 4 elements. Ground rhythm, that's your kick drum. 4 on the floor is most common. Backbeat, that's on beats 2 and 4 of the measure. It's usually played by the snare drum or a clap sound. Subdividing, it's an 8th note or higher subdivision. It's usually played by a hi-hat or a ride cymbal or a tambourine or a shaker or something that is short and fairly high-pitched. And finally, there's color. Those are used sparingly. They are crash cymbals, tom-toms, and any other instrument that adds a little color to the beat. So, basic rock beat. There you go.